Ending, my friends. What a beautiful sound. This weekend, I have upgraded my drink a little bit from canned margarita to actual margarita. A little hard to judge exactly how much I'm pouring here in this gigantic glass. We'll find out. I have further to upgrade if I choose to eventually, because this is still not a real margarita. It's still, using a mix. So there's room for improvement, but it is a high quality mix, like real agave and lime and whatever. I feel like I'm doing a commercial right now, but once again, I know I don't get paid for anything. Just making a drink in my little shack. Taste test before I go outside. Okay, seems about right. And now I take you outside to see how we fare anyway, um, versus the wasps. I have my wasp smacking hat on today. I'm prepared. I've discovered that the best defense against these things, fly swatters, sprays, all that crap is useless. It really is just about a quick draw hat. They come right at me, I just whip this up, smack, boom, gone. It works incredibly well, and it's always available. So, multifunctional headwear. Yes, no cans today, Jane. I do still have a couple cans, but I decided to step it up a notch because last week, Tuesday or Wednesday or something, was National Tequila Day, which is one that sounds like another one of those fake holidays that the industry probably made up. But I would have liked to celebrate it, but I was a bit busy. So I'm making up for lost time. So cheers. I actually would have celebrated it anyway, except I didn't have any tequila on hand, and I wasn't going into town a whole special trip just to pick up tequila. Yes, tiny house off-grid life starring adorable pets. Wow, that is quite a username you've got there. Your username is like a whole bio, but you finally caught me. And Sandra finally caught me. Yeah, so like ideally, my ideal margarita is just like, what do they call it? Scratch margarita, which would just be tequila, agave syrup, and lime juice, I think. I think it's just those three. And that's kind of like my ideal. I don't always order that at a bar because sometimes I just like, well, if I'm at a place where someone's going to make me a drink, I'd rather have something more interesting and complicated. But for like home use, that is my go-to. I don't know why I got the mix this time. I was in a hurry, didn't want to hunt down agave syrup in this small town. Although it probably exists because this is basically little Mexico out here. So yeah, um, glad you're worried about me, Essie. Always checking up on Dad. I used to forget my streams a lot. Um, but that was probably before I was quite as desolate as I am now, where this is like my only social activity. Glad you're liking the Jedi shirt, Jane. Yeah, I figured, I wanted maximum protection because last time I streamed, the wasps were just a constant problem because they're always after my drinks, Although this is not very sweet at all, so they might leave me alone. But this hoodie is great for like summer heat/bug protection because it keeps the sun off me. Not that's really an issue this time of night, but it also like keeps the bugs from getting in my ears. They always like aim right for my ears, bastards. I won't mess with that too much because my mic is on it. But 2 a.m. for Luke Master. My nephew's name is Luke. I'm assuming that's not him unless he already went to Thailand, since he's a world traveler these days. Sleepy Crepes is pre-gamed. Cheers to that. Oh, 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 will he? Will he? There he is. An ominous, mysterious form travels past the camera. Unbidden. I thought I'd, go find him, but it's much more fun when he just comes right to me. Hey, Baba. Show them your beautiful face, sir. Oh, he won't do it. He's on the move. He'll have to wait till he comes back. Tequila is overrated, Sleepy. I beg to differ. I think it's underutilized. People only ever use tequila and margaritas and shots, basically. But it can be a very sophisticated liquor if you know where to look. I actually love drinking it straight, but it's very rare to find bars that have anything but like Jose Cuervo or something. So I usually don't order it to sip. But oh, former bartender talking shit about tequila. I'm surprised. Am I hot air out the ears, huh? Would that be like my cartoon rage, like the steam shooting out my ears? That could attract some bugs, I guess. Time here, Charlie the dog, is 5:07. Nice, mellow evening today. Still very much in the thick of summer, but the days are starting to get a tiny bit shorter. The weather has cooled off substantially. It is now, well, let's see. Low 80s. Amazing. It feels incredible to not be in an oven right now. It has been a horrific heat streak of probably almost a month, maybe 3 weeks or something, where it was hovering around 100 degrees almost every day. Never really got cooler at night. It was just constant. And it sent me down a strange spiral where I just like couldn't live. I couldn't even like do mental work. It was just like I was dying. And yeah, I'm sure there's someone who'd be like, 100, that's nothing. Come to Arizona or whatever. But heat is heat. And in my opinion, what I've discovered and noticed is that like you notice the difference less and less as it gets higher. It's like it's a bell curve. I don't know what the term for that would be, but like it levels off. Like the difference between 80 and 90 is big. 90 and 100, I don't really feel it. It's just like it's diminishing returns. So I think when you get 110, it's somewhat more miserable, but not dramatically compared to the other tiers. Danush is asking about attaching a GoPro to Bob. So I was saying for a while, like people kept asking me about that and I kept saying no because he already has the GPS thing on his collar, which is more important. But I realized like there's no reason that has to be on him all the time. Like I could totally swap that out for a camera for like limited adventures. And I want to do it actually. I actually started shopping for one, and the only ones that are like decently rated are like $80-$90. And I hovered on the buy button for a second, but I was like, this is too much. I can't be blowing like $100 on things that are that frivolous. I will blow $100 on like a new phone camera lens because it's really easy to make excuses for things that improve my art. Anybody who's a creator of any kind probably understands this. Like when I used to be in a band, it was the easiest thing in the world to justify blowing money on music gear because it was like, well, yeah, like this effects pedal is $200, but that'll pay for itself when, you know, we blow everyone's minds at the show tonight, and you know, we get signed to the label, and so it's worth it. Like it's an investment. It's a no-brainer. Of course, you buy, you know, the best guitar cable or whatever, because like it'll pay off when you make it big. So it's like it's insidious that way. And I found the same phenomenon with photography gear, videography, even like computer streaming kind of stuff. Like right now, you know, I've got this little lav mic going on, which I easily justified buying because I'm like, you know, I'm doing all these live streams, making videos where I'm like working on the shed and stuff, and I need to build a walk free from my phone to film stuff. So it's like, well, you know, it's $100, but I can justify it, and so it creeps up on you. It does. It doesn't seem like much in the moment, and then you check your spending chart at the end of the week, and I'm like, how did I spend that much? I'm the end of the month. So be warned, but I still stand by my decisions, I think. Okay, so Sleepy Crepes is qualifying her statement about tequila. Patron, I don't know if I've ever even had Patron. Um, I would assume it has to be overrated, just because like no liquor deserves branding hype to that degree. But yeah, Cazadores is my go-to, like mid-shelf tequila that's good for drinking solo. There are better ones that I haven't had in a long time, honestly, and I can't remember what they're called. there it's rare to find like a bar that has a tequila selection. Usually they just kind of end it at the mid shelf. But once in a while you go to one that like actually has a list, and it's pretty fun. But those days are mostly behind me until I escape from this situation and take a trip again, which is not happening for a while because I have many projects. Segue into Jane's question. The next Outpost project, yes, indeed, is the shower. And that's actually what I started working on today. Take a sip to fortify me for the journey to the other section of the Outpost grounds. Started putting the backing for my outdoor shower here. So I got this amazing technology, this outdoor shower spigot, which supposedly is freeze proof. So you can't really see it on that piece, but it has like some kind of valves in here that cause the water to always like drain out toward the valve. And then the shower head here has these little drains on the bottom. So basically you turn the water pressure off and all the water drains back out, and hypothetically I'll be able to use this in the winter, which will be interesting. My idea is to install it on the wall over here, which is where I take showers currently. There's my current shower setup, which, as I've showed you guys, is just it's just a camp shower thingy with connected to this, you know, propane powered camp shower. And I have to build this thing around it to keep the wind from blowing it out. But I'm gonna take all this out. This is my drain pipe, which I set in the ground way back when the shed first arrived. It connects into my sink drain, which goes underground here, connects to this, and then runs underground over to, you can kind of faintly see the pipe there, which sinks down into the ground into a old rusty barrel that I buried underground, drilled a bunch of holes in the barrel, and that is basically serving as my septic tank. And it works surprisingly well. I've been using that for like a year and a half. Is it 2 years maybe? I think I've done 2 winters in it now. And I kept thinking like, no way this is gonna work. Like it's gonna fill up, the holes are gonna get clogged, and it's gonna back up and foul sludge is gonna come out of my sink. But so far, no, it seems to be working like a real septic tank. So yeah, I'm gonna pour concrete, I think, a little pad here to go around the drain. And then I'm gonna sink 2 poles out here somewhere into holes with concrete, attach the other side of them to the wall, and then have panels on the side here. I'm thinking about maybe making them out of translucent fiberglass, like like roofing panels, so that it would still have lots of light in there. But the key is that it'll block the wind. So hypothetically, like I could come out here, turn the hot water on, get it nice and toasty running, and then like strip off my robe or whatever, jump in, take a shower under hot water as the winter blizzards rage around me. And it would probably be tolerable because the water's hot. And then I would just, grab my towel and run screaming back into the house. I figure, people pay to take cold plunges, right? Ice baths and all that trendy stuff now, so it can't be that bad. So that is the next project. I started working on the wood for it today. Have a few parts that I need to go get on Monday, so I'm pausing it to take a break and talk to y'all. Let me skim through here. What have I missed? God, I'm so sorry. A bunch of people had their cats die of cancer recently. Or I guess not that recently, but in the recent past. In the recent past. My condolences to those of you. I feel like a lot of people who follow this channel have lost a pet in some way, at some time, in some tragic way. I mean, it's always a tragic way, right? Bet you fart a lot out there by yourself. Okay, how's that for a segue from tragedy? Oh, hey, thank you, Danny Kilgore. Gave me a little tip for my drink today. Appreciate it. And Danny asked in this tip comment, why do you prefer cats? That's a fair question. What happens? So, yeah, I see you. I hearted the comment. I'm still trying to figure out how that, like, this little special window that comes up when someone gives you a tip. It gives you like a few different things you can do with it. I can heart it, and I can also thumbs up it. So I guess I'll do both. Asked why I prefer cats. I don't know that I would say I prefer cats. I love dogs. I love all animals, really. I was just looking into yesterday, is it legal to have a pet mongoose? Because I thought how great it would be to have a mongoose running around out here eating all the snakes, but you can't. At least in Washington, it's not allowed. But yeah, dogs, I would love to have a dog. I probably will have a dog someday. The reason I haven't so far is basically just cats are pretty low maintenance. They're like, you can leave them basically. And well, lately my lifestyle hasn't been all that mobile, but traditionally I've been kind of a wanderer. I used to, live the van life, used to always be on the go. So it would never occur to me to own a dog, because it's like I'd have to be constantly finding them a pet sitter, constantly figuring out like, how do I get back in time to let them out, take them on a walk, all that stuff. And I just don't live like that. Out here lately, it's started to seem a little more practical because I kind of don't leave very much. I don't know. I still kind of feel very harried out here. Like there's a lot of stuff that I'm trying to put together, and my whole setup out here feels very scattered and messy. And it's hard to think about like adding a new responsibility to this shit show. I think when I get like a house and I get everything tied together and I have like my deck and, you know, nice orderly place to like wash the dog and leave my boots and all that kind of stuff, then I might be able to conceptualize getting the dog and having like space to walk through those responsibilities. Right now, my current life, it feels a lot like camping. Like it's very chaotic, and there's just like a series of crises and difficulties all the time, and just dogs kind of are their own full-time job in a way. So it's really just about the responsibility. I just haven't found it in me yet to take that plunge, but I'm pretty sure I will. I know that I want to. Whoa, wait a second. Future tense said La Vie is here. Did I miss that? Oh shit, there you are. Another long time ago regular of my old Twitch streams back when I was living a very bleak life that had very few responsibilities and problems, so therefore I indulged in Twitch streaming and enjoyed it a lot, and right up until I started this life, and then I had to drop it, at least for now. But yeah, La Vie was a regular feature on my streams, which were mostly Fallout. I did a big Fallout 4 Warm Bodies slash fiction. Kind of did a fanfic of my own book where I played as Julie from Warm Bodies, and created like a, you know, the universe of Fallout meshes pretty neatly with Warm Bodies. If you can ignore all like the retro futurist stuff, it was actually surprisingly easy to come up with a storyline that kind of made sense with as like a post-game Warm Bodies tale, and got pretty into that because I had nothing else going on at the time. But it was fun, and I appreciated everybody who hung out for that journey. Kaylin, that's not actually a ladder. I don't know if you were joking or not, but it's just like the two of those boards. One is for the faucet to go to screw into, the other's for the shower head to screw into, and then I'm just going to put those other ones in between to kind of like fill out the space aesthetically. That's all there is to it. It does kind of look like a nice ladder though. Attach a minigun to what? To the shower? Or are we just talking like outfitting the shed? It would be nice to get like some turrets out here. I have actually been really wanting to get a hot tub. There's the same company that makes my shower, my propane shower, Julka is the brand. They just recently put out an inflatable hot tub which uses that propane heater to heat the water. It's like a big PVC tub that you hook those hoses up to, and it just circulates the water through the heater and keeps it hot. It's actually like really cool looking. I mean, it sounds like a really durable, high quality thing, and I'm very tempted to buy it. Honestly, I actually did buy it last year. I pre-ordered it, and then my buyer's remorse got to me, and I heard my mom's frugal voice in my head be like, "You don't need that. Focus on things that matter." And so I canceled my order. But I've been tempted to buy it again recently, because especially now that I'm realizing I'm spending another winter out here, I'm like, man, I could sort of use that as a bath and a hot tub. I can justify it if I really try. I probably could. Oh, speaking of justifying things, I got sidetracked again a few topics ago. But the Bob camera, um, I am tempted to buy it, but I thought about maybe doing something related to this channel, or maybe my Patreon, like to gauge interest kind of, and like maybe see if somebody wants to like um, if there's some kind of slush fund or something like that people could donate toward getting a Bob camera, because I can't justify buying it myself. It's just like for the short-term use that it would have, I couldn't quite pull the trigger. But if people were really excited about the idea, you know, you're welcome to finance it in some way. I'll talk about that another time, but that was a thought that I had. Yeah, the sauna snow plunge Holly mentioned, it's similar to that, except I don't know. So I did take a few showers out here last early and late winter. I tried it a couple times, like after the freeze era was done. It's pretty rough because, well, I think the main reason it was so difficult is I just had no shelter. So like on a completely still day, it's bearable because the heat of the water just maintains your temperature. But when it's windy, it just feels like you're naked and wet in a blizzard. It's very different from jumping into an ice bath, because then in an ice bath you get numb and you can just like sit there and concentrate and just learn how to like adapt to it. I haven't actually done ice baths, but I've swam in icy water and I've tried it, and I've taken, you know, icy showers. But I find that it's easier to get like your mind over it in it when it's steady and consistent. But just like being outside naked and wet in the frigid temperatures is a level of control that I have not achieved. But you know, it'll be interesting. It's going to happen this year one way or another, because I've got another winter ahead of me. Oh God, Charlie the dog. I think Charlie the dog is actually a dog out here just singing the praises of dogs while named Charlie the dog. I see you. It's like that classic internet meme uh, of the picture of the golden retriever at a computer. It says, "On the internet, no one knows you're a dog. You are the embodiment." But yeah, I love Bernese. My sister has had 3 Bernese mountain dogs now. Definitely like in my top 3 dog breeds ever. I don't know if I would get one for myself because of just the maintenance level. They do have a lot of health problems, as do most, you know, novelty breeds, and just their coats. It would be tough. Like he would be out, you know, frolicking around in the sage brush and getting just so matted. He'd get so many little thistly things and bugs stuck in his fur, and also would just be so hot out here with his black fur. That would be tough. I don't know if that's the breed for this area. My neighbors, everyone I've met out here has labs, and they're just labs. Yellow labs are so nice. They're kind of boring to me just because they're so common and they don't look, you know, like wolfish. Like I love dogs that look natural, that look like they haven't been bred to death, like bred into mutant shapes. I like the ones that kind of retain some of that primal character. But really, at the end of the day, it's not about how they look, it's about the personality. And the personality and their health is really what I should be prioritizing. So I don't know. I'll think about it more when I get closer to actually making that decision. Danush asked about my neighbor, speaking of which. I'll explain that real quick, since you've probably noticed them in the background a few times. The closest thing I have to it, what I would call an actual neighbor, is those guys. And they're about, I'm not a great judge of distance, but I would say, I don't know, like 500 feet away, maybe, something like that. And I'm friends with. It's just one guy. When I first moved here, it was him and his 21-year-old son, but then his son moved back to the west side of the state, so now it's just him. And he isn't here all the time. Like he kind of alternates his life. He goes back over west to. He has kind of like an interesting arrangement. Like his wife lives over on the west side of the mountains, and he lives out here. And he has to like go back and see her at least once a month, I think, is their deal. So he hates it over there. He wants to live out here full time, but his wife doesn't like it out here, so he compromises. And yeah, he's cool. Like he's a contractor, and he helped me with a lot of the stuff when I first got out here. Like he put in the septic tank down there, which I of course can't use until I get a house, and helped me with some of the stuff on the when we first got the shed here, like the plumbing stuff. Like he put in the water lines and did a lot of different tasks before I kind of got into the swing of things. And he's just been really great. Like he's, you know, quite a bit older than me. We're not exactly peers, so it's not like it's different kind of friendship, but we can talk, you know. And we're also like really different, you know, culturally, but we've found enough common ground to cross to bridge the gap and like have a good time. He's a great cook. He has me over for dinner a lot, so that's fun. And yeah, that's kind of my relationship with everyone I've met out here. Everyone I've met on this ridge is substantially older than me and all like super conservative. And so like I have to kind of bridge this gap in order to find common ground, which gets easier as, you know, those factors sort of become less important to me. Politics and you know, the things that matter with age, like cultural interests and stuff, all that kind of faded into the background for me as well. So it matters less. It still does matter though. Like I would like to meet some people my own age out here, but until that happens somehow, I'm happy to have company of, you know, interesting, experienced old folks who have been around here a long time and have lots of stories to tell. So yeah, it's okay. A horse or a mule? You know, definitely not a horse. People are still asking about like the other animals that I need to get. Hold on, hold on. Stephen O'Connell. You're not the Stephen O'Connell that designed my rot line, are you? Many of you probably aren't aware. Um, that was Stephen, or was that McConnell? It was so long ago. But in the sequel to Warm Bodies, The Burning World, there is a phone number um, at one point in the story where they call a phone number to access like this government hotline from before the apocalypse, and I used a real phone number in that scene because I had this. Here we go. The war's on. Oh no. Okay, I was spared. I used a real phone number because I had this plan to create a real government hotline, and I did. I hired a guy to build like a real customer service infrastructure for me where you could call this phone number and like press 1 to do this, press 2 to do that. This complex, sprawling web of choices that I wrote dialogue for and had, you know, these AI voices read it. Not like AI in today's sense, but, you know, classical text-to-speech customer service voice. And it was really cool. And I did this whole campaign involving it where I put up fake street signs all around Seattle that were like real signs printed on metal that said, "Why is this happening?" And there was the phone number, and uh, the the system didn't directly reference warm bodies at all. Um, it was just like a kind of a weird. I don't even know what to call it. Like I guess it was kind of marketing, but not really. It was just like an extension of the story, really. I was really proud of it. It was really cool. It actually got featured in the local paper in Seattle, The Stranger. They did a whole article about it because and they like tracked it down and figured out that it was me and talked about it a bit, and that was pretty exciting for me. But it was based on Google Voice, and it just kept breaking down as Google kept like fucking with it. They kept changing the way the system worked, and it would constantly stop working. And I kept calling this guy Stephen O'Connell, like asking him to fix it for me, and he fixed it like 3 or 4 times, and then eventually he just like couldn't make it work anymore, and he just kind of like stopped answering my calls. And you know, understandably so. I offered to keep paying him because like my goal with this whole thing, I thought, you know, I'm gonna make this exist. It's going to be tied to this real phone number that's in the printed book. And someday, like 50 years from now, some kid is going to check this book out at the library and find this phone number and call it out of this dusty, musty old book. And they're going to have their minds blown that it actually still works. Because I've always thought, like, all these artists are rich and everything. They have money. They could pay to maintain these things. Why don't people do cool shit like that? Like, I want to have some artifact from old art. Like, I want, how, like, it reminds me of the arcade game in Tron, like he pulls it out and it's all covered in dust, and yet, like, it still connects to this secret world. I wanted to kind of create that feeling. And I did maintained it for like 5 years or something before it fell apart. And now, as far as I can tell, there's no way to get it back. At least not unless, there's any tech experts in the chat here who would like to volunteer to attempt to resuscitate it, because it is pretty cool. It actually has some original hidden acting from, at the time, Annalie Tipton, now Leo Tipton, who was in the movie, did a performance on one of the audios in that thing, and no one knows about that. And so yeah, there's a lot of cool little secrets hidden in that thing. All of that came about just because I saw this name. I guess it's actually Sturvin O'Connell. Maybe, I don't know if that was a intentional misspelling, or that's actually your name, but tangent, big tangent. Wait, oh shit, Danny gave another donation. Danny's feeling generous. Much appreciated. Hearts and thumbs up. And okay, so I guess the idea of these donations is it like highlights your question and makes sure that you get noticed, which is barely necessary for me, to be honest, because like I really care about these questions and I always scroll back to make sure that but I guess I still am kind of filtering to decide what to respond to. I pretty much respond to any like meaningful question. I don't answer every comment, but I've got time. I'm not going anywhere. So Danny asked, sorry if this is a question, it's out of context. I'm Canadian, but I'd like to know, one, if cannabises help you out to cope with solitude. Not really, honestly. Like I'm cannabis friendly. I do have a couple like beverages in my fridge that have like a small THC content. Not really much of a weed guy though, honestly. I enjoy it for like very specific situations. I really like it for music, any sort of musical situation, like particularly being at a concert, but also like times where I just want to sit and listen to a whole album and really, really vibe out. I do like to get high for that. And for like hikes, nature experiences, I really enjoy what it adds to that experience. But I don't really like being high, like on just a normal situation. I definitely don't like it socially. I can't talk when I smoke weed. I just go total couch lock mode. And if I'm out, hanging with friends and I do it, it's just like, okay, bye. I'll be over here like staring into the cosmos and you won't hear from me again for the rest of the night. So social is pretty much off the table. I could probably enjoy it alone. And shit, maybe I will. Maybe you just kind of reminded me that it's worth another try. Like on days like this where I'm just kind of, it's a day off and I'm zoning out a little bit. It might be kind of nice to just sit here and, you know, do this, stare into that view while being high. That would be a nice feeling. I have a feeling, as far as it helping me cope with solitude, honestly, I would worry that it would have the opposite effect. I feel like I might, go to the dark side if I got too high out here by myself. But, it's worth a shot. Next time I head to Omak, I might head up to there's a surprising amount of pot shops around here for how conservative the area is. So maybe I'll give it another shot. Why is Omer asking English or Spanish hundreds of times? What's going on there? Can you not tell which language I'm speaking? Is that a meme or something? What's going on? Ah, okay. Danny is a shit. What's the word for someone who's from Quebec? Quebec, right? There's no quoi in it. Um, just Quebecois, right? That's what you call yourselves, or is that, I forget the terminology? But yeah. Respect to you, because that's where Warm Bodies happened, in Montreal. Um, Beautiful sub-country, province, whatever you call it. It feels like its own country. So that's funny. Dave Unknown asked, do I have any regrets about building so small? Um, Nothing but regrets. I mean, this was not, I, to explain, for any newcomers, this was not the plan, okay? Not in any way was this the plan. Let me just briefly recap what happened here. So down there is where my house was supposed to be. You can see the power pole there. I have a septic tank right there. There's a whole flat, nice building pad that's perfectly positioned to get maximum privacy. And how it went down is I got the land, I got the utilities put in, I got the septic, I got the power, eventually got a well drilled and got water up and running. But I didn't have any dwelling, so I was just out here camping in a tent, and it was, pretty rough. And so in order to buy this place, I sold my house on the west side of Washington, took all the money from that sale to buy all of this crap, and so like I didn't have anywhere to live, and that was the year that my dad died, and my mom was struggling, and I just thought like it makes sense for me to just move in with her for a while in this transitional period. So I lived at my mom's for like 6 months. It ended up being, I didn't intend for it to be that long, but that's how it panned out. Shit, maybe it was even longer than that. It's all kind of a blur. But I was really eager to get out here because, as lovely as my mom is and as wonderful as it is to be in her presence and enjoy her dinners and all of that, it was like killing my soul every day. I just woke up thinking like, this is not my life, I'm dying. So I was like desperate to get out here, and I thought, I need a storage unit, a storage shed regardless. I know that I would need that. So, this was a prefab shed, from Heritage Portable. It's like one of those companies, you see them alongside the road all the time, where they just sell, various sizes of sheds. So I had this thing made, and I just decided, like, because, this is what it was supposed to be. I'll show you. Originally, it was just this, a tool shed. And then I just thought, it's not really that much more expensive to make it a little bigger. So, because it's like, it scales up really easily. So I just made it bigger and added on the living section to the other side. And now I have a home. So, but the idea was always temporary. It was like, I was going to get something that I could live in out here, and while I built the house. So it was never intended to be like the long-term home. It's never intended to be even as long-term as it has been, which is going on 3 years now. I've been tolerating it, not particularly enjoying it. Not only is it very small, but it just was never really designed for like full-time living. It doesn't have, all the clever little little nooks, crannies that a tiny house has that are just like for storage. It doesn't have a little area to put a stacking washer dryer or anything like that. It's just not, it's meant to be a guest room basically, which is what I intend to make it after I get the house built. So yes, regret. Here comes the wasps. No drink for you. You gonna move on, or am I gonna have to destroy you? Hat's coming off. I got to get agile to make this work. Or are you not interested in my drink? Is it the table you're after? Maybe I'll leave you alone. Can we achieve peace? Nope, he's coming for me. Oh, okay. As soon as I drew my weapon, it scarpered. I guess it knew. It knew what it was up against. He's like, oh shit, I didn't realize you had a hat. God, there's so many good questions in this chat. Okay, what's going on with Omer? Is this like a bot, or what's going on? It says I'm asking a question. This has to be trolling, right? People who are more internet savvy than me can decide whether to ban him or not, because it's just blasting this English or Spanish question. I don't get it. Alpha Monkey asked if I'm working on any new books. So funny you should ask. I mean, I've been working on this new book, The Overnoise, for years. Has it been 3 years now? It's a long story, complicated for like the ins and outs of the ups and downs of this novel. It's been sort of finished for a long time, but it keeps running into obstacles. Basically, where it stands right now is it needs one more revision, and I have not been able to dive into that revision because I've been just swept up in other projects, some of which are related to that book. And that's actually what I'm working on currently. And I have to be guarded in my speech because it's not something I can announce yet until some deals are sealed. But yeah, stuff is happening with that, and I'm really eager to wrap it up. I think there's probably like 2 weeks to maybe a month worth of brainstorming left for me to like polish that into the shape it needs to be. One of the edits that I've decided I need to make, like one of the big changes, is that because this book is like set in now, more or less, it's like the real world, and it involves tech. It's been really hard to keep it current, because especially having it been as slow of a process as it has, like when I wrote it, I set out to I like did a lot of research, and I was like, what's the cutting edge of what things are happening right now? And I kind of like projected ahead a couple of years to see like what might be happening in the very near future, and then wrote a story, in which those are supposed to be new developments and where things are, supposed to be shocking and exciting. And then like while waiting for my agent basically to get back to me about this book, many of those things just fucking happened. So it's like, well, shit, now I have to go and change that because it's not interesting anymore because it already happened. And I started to realize, like, man, I'm gonna have to make some tweaks here to future-proof this a little, because technology is advancing so fast now that, like, if you're gonna write sci-fi, it has to be, thousands of years in the future, or else it's gonna become dated like before it even gets printed. It's really a strange scenario. I feel like this is new. Like, near future sci-fi used to be a thing, but now like you can't write near future because the near future arrives within the year of publishing while they're putting the pages together. So it's like, Jesus, unforgiving era to be in. So yeah, there's a few tweaks to make. Hoping to get that back out on the market, hopefully before things shut down this year. That is kind of my hope. Because the publishing industry kind of dies like in late fall, early winter, I think. Everybody is very lazy and very like leisurely in that industry. They're just like, oh, is Thanksgiving 4 weeks from now? I'm on vacation, out of office for the holidays. What possible urgency could there be for doing anything for our struggling, dying industry? I will be gone. You can reach my assistant who won't do anything for you for like 3 whole months. God damn it. Why isn't anybody hungry in this industry like I am? So yeah, try to get it in before the holidays. Tom asked for a full shed tour. I don't think I'm going to do that today. It's a good idea, but I feel, because I haven't really done that yet, and I feel like that maybe should be its own video. I did like a day in the life thing, but that was like winter specific. And I didn't really get into like the details in my shed, which would be kind of a fun, at least for a short or something. I've shown it off a couple times, like I'll go in there and you'll see it, but it would be fun to kind of like explain how the cramped tiny life works. Danush is promising to finance the Bob camera. Fundraiser on YouTube. Yeah, so I don't really know how that works. I'm going to look into it after this and see, you know, is there like a thing you can put on your YouTube channel where people can just like donate toward it? Because I don't like to do a lot of, you know, please give me money kind of activity because I just don't like it for obvious reasons. But I feel like this is something, you know, if it would create a source of joy for the viewers, I can justify asking to fund it. Because then you'd all have a little piece of the Bob investment. Okay, I'm scanning them. I'm way behind on the chat here. Oh man, how far behind am I? There's still people talking about the Bernese. I'm gonna have to skim a little faster here. I'm sorry. Jane mentioned the Fallout Warm Bodies fan fiction, and yes, it is my world, but it's kind of like, what exactly do you call it if the author of one book creates a new story in another fictional world? Like it's using that, you know, the components of that world. Like that's I don't know what to call that. It's like Fallout fan fiction using my own actual fiction as the source or something. I don't know what it is. Yeah, Essie, the thing is though, I did some research about the cat cameras. There are cheaper ones. There's a couple $40, $50 ones, but they all have a lot of problems. If you read the reviews, you'll see that it doesn't really work well. Like a lot of them don't have a frame that keeps them pointed in the right direction, so you just like get footage of the ground, and just like they don't. There's a bunch of problems with those cheap ones that made me decide like if I'm going to do this, I need to get the ones that actually work. Ah, there's a sequel comment. It's been a while since I've had one of those. Usually, every time I talk about warm bodies, uh, at least one person, usually several people, pop up in total shock that it's actually a whole series because I had the worst marketing of all time, apparently. I always thought it's funny, like, I mean, Warm Bodies is not by any means a national household name that is, you know, a major franchise, but it's like, it's, you know, the original is pretty well established in pop culture at this point. I mean, there's like Halloween costumes for R, like people know about it, and it's like, what if, you know, I haven't really found a perfect equivalent to you know, another franchise that is on the same level as Warm Bodies because it's kind of oddly situated. But it, you know, thinking about things like, what if nobody, if people were still alive who did not know that there was a sequel to Star Wars or to, you know, uh, Harry Potter or something. like like if the first thing could be so popular and then people literally don't know that there were more, it's like it's unthinkable for franchises like that. It's just like couldn't happen. And it's puzzling to have had something like that happen with a smaller franchise, but still, you know, a known thing. It's weird, right? But yeah, the vast majority of people in my case do not know that it's a franchise. Franchise is a strong word, but a series. The book I'm talking about, Zombie Man. There's no sequel to the movie. Probably never will be, unfortunately. Still supposedly a TV show in the works, but I'll believe it when I see it. Oh, Jesus loves me and calls me to repentance? Isn't that sweet? Nice of him. I'll think about it. Scanning. Oh my God. I think I'm really far behind here because I'm like seeing topics that I talked about a long time ago. Maybe I should just swoop up to the present. But I don't want to miss anything important. Oh yeah, I did promise to talk about a tattoo every day, didn't I? So yeah, last stream I said I would explain one tattoo every stream. And last time I talked about the fingers, which, long story short, are from this hand is from a medieval manuscript called the Voynich manuscript, which is a historical mystery. You can look it up if you're curious. Let's do the alternative, the flip side to those this stream, which is these ones, which are similar, as you can see, but from a completely different source. These are actually kind of a semi-modern thing. They're a book from the 70s called the Codex Seraphinianus, which is not necessarily like a mystery because it, you know, has an author who has done interviews and sort of explained what it's about. But it is like a book. It's an art book essentially, and it is like kind of surrealist drawings of strange stuff. Like sort of you can imagine Salvador Dali if it were like an encyclopedia. Like if someone made a technical manual of all the weird imagery in Dali's paintings, um, that would be sort of what this book is like. It has these drawings of like people and plants and animals and vehicles and like scientific constructs and just all this, you know, encyclopedia stuff. But it's very bizarre, you know, otherworldly, and all of it is sort of illustrated and explained by this text, which is written in this language, which is a nonsense language. It's a really beautiful script, and it supposedly the author, what he said, I didn't actually read this interview. I almost like kind of reluctant to learn too much about it because when I first discovered it, I think at the time like it wasn't known that there had been these interviews, and no one really knew what it meant. At least I didn't stumble across that information. And then I found out that there were some interviews that sort of explained it, and I was a little disappointed. But I did eventually pick up the general gist of it. And I guess what he was trying to do, he said he was trying to create the sensation that children get from looking at books before they know how to read. That sort of that sense of wonder of like of not knowing what anything is, and just like the infinite possibility of like opening an encyclopedia and not understanding what you're looking at. And I think, you know, if it must have an explanation, I actually really like that because it kind of goes with the whole theme of why I got these tattoos, these finger ones anyway. It's like that craving for that sense of wonder and wanting to believe that there are still, you know, things to be discovered in the world, and if not, you know, literally physically discovered, then things to be like insights to be had, and new perspectives to be gained, that, you know, just the feeling that it's not all mapped out already, that there's sort of a little bit more to life to keep it interesting, which is what I crave. So yeah, that's why I got those. Check out the book. Really, it's an incredible book, Codex Seraphinianus. I'm not going to spell that whole word for you, but you'll probably find it if you start Googling. The scariest thing I experienced out here, Charlie the dog, probably would have to say the day I was sitting at my computer, which is, you know, right next to that window, and I just saw a black furry back just gliding right past my window at about eye level. And I was 100% convinced that it was a bear. And, you know, black bears typically aren't aggressive, but, you know, with one coming that close to the house and like walking right up to me while I was sitting there, I just thought like this could be a crazy bear. So I had a brief moment of extreme fear, thinking like I might be about to die. And, but then I got up and I looked out the door, and turned out it was, you know, just a bull. You know, to quote a famous Fallout character, bull bear, bull bear, bull bear. It was a black bull that just was chilling. It just walked through my property. I don't know where it came from. Huge, fat, roly-poly bull. And it just walked right by my window, and I opened the door, and it turned and looked at me, and it was, you know, probably 10 feet away. And then it just galloped off down my driveway and hung out down there for a while. And I was just absolutely flummoxed because I'm like, where did this thing come from? What is the correct procedure for when encountering a wild bull on your property? Turned out it wasn't wild. I eventually noticed the tag on its ear, but still don't know where it came from. And yeah, I thought for a second, I was like, you know what? This probably wandered out from some cattle farm somewhere far away from here. It's on a long journey. Maybe if I offer it some food, he'll like be my friend, be my pet bull. He'll just like keep hanging out here, coming around for food, and I'll keep feeding him and like just have a bull. Like, you know, why do you have to pen cattle in? Why do you have to do all that stuff? Like, couldn't you just like own a bull and just have it hang out and like live its own life and comes looking for food once in a while? That's it. I'm tempted to do that with goats. I don't know if I've heard it's more complicated than that to own goats, but I would really love to have a pet goat, 2 pet goats, because they're supposed to socialize them. Because I also love for them to eat all the brush around here, keep some of this stuff down because it's constantly taking over. All right, scanning again. Ah, nice too says I look cute. Thank you, thank you. I don't get a lot of compliments these days, so I appreciate that. Men don't really get compliments in general. It's rare in life, but especially as you get older, it starts to get more and more unexpected. Let's see. Holly asked about my clothesline. So yeah, since you noticed, I did start going full homesteader this last couple days and set up a laundry deal here. I got two lines. Oh, hi, Bob. Bob is like a pancake on the ground here. Yeah, so, oops. I set up this kind of temporary situation just to see how it would work. It's not a great, you know, clothesline, but this whole time that I've been living here, I've mostly been doing laundry at laundromats, and I still am currently, but I wanted to try to get out of that because it's really annoying and actually kind of expensive. It ends up costing like almost $9 between the washer and the dryer, and it just takes your whole day because you have to just sit there at the laundromat and wait, and then swap it over and then wait another 40 minutes. And it's just really annoying. It kind of takes up your whole day. Not to mention, you know, ecology and all of that stuff. So I thought, like, why not? You know, I'm out here basically living the old-fashioned life already. Might as well extend that all the way. So I tried this the day before yesterday, and I ended up washing my clothes at the laundromat because I was running errands anyway. But I thought, like, well, maybe I can wash it here, you know, go get lunch while I wait for the wash, and then just take it wet and take it home and hang it on the dry. And that's what I did, and that worked fine. It was, you know, really time consuming to hang all the laundry, but it worked. It's good. It got dry. Line dried laundry is kind of crinkly, unfortunately. It's like I hate how it doesn't get that sort of fluffy laundered feel, but it's fine. And I'm going to try, let me show you my washing machine. I looked into more complicated ways to do this, but after doing a lot of research, as far as I could tell, like the easiest way to do home laundry is just a fucking plunger. So basically, I'm gonna take this bucket here, which is not the Home Depot poop bucket, I assure you, and just fill it with hot water and laundry detergent, put my clothes in there and just go and just, you know, agitate it like the washing machine does. And that's it. Haven't tried it yet, but theoretically it seems like it should work pretty well, and shouldn't be particularly difficult. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. It would be nice to be, fully self-sufficient. At least, I'm sure I will get laundry machines in my house, my hypothetical house. But until that happens, it would be nice to have another solution. The lore of the shed. Yeah, it's kind of the house is kind of becoming a legend, Jen. I've been talking about my house like since the very beginning, since my first video, which really wasn't that long ago. I've only been doing this like 6 months. But yeah, these things take a lot of time. It's an incredibly slow process. So yeah, I will keep sharing the lore as it develops. Okay, so did you guys deal with Omer? um, I don't even know how to ban people, but I last time somebody came in and started trolling as well, and it sounded like you guys were able to ban them yourself, which is great. Because I'm busy trying to talk to you and defend myself from wasps. All right, buddy, you come too close. It's happening. I didn't hit him, but I blew him away. Is he coming back? No, we're good. It's tough to do these strikes when I have a drink and a phone set up in close proximity. I didn't want to hit my stuff. Natasha, I appreciate that. There are things I dislike about this life, but I have to clarify and reiterate from time to time. I don't dislike this life. This is still overall the life that I chose and the life that I want. There are some elements of it that are not in place yet in order to like really make the picture come alive. There are certain elements like, just the aspects of my home itself that make certain things not work. Like socially, for example, it doesn't really work well for me to have company out here. I can't like invite my family to come out and see me. Maybe one person, but even one person is like pretty awkward because there's nowhere to be. And the idea of having like an actual home with, a couch and like a little outdoor space with, lawn chairs and whatever, and multiple rooms and a bathroom and like things like that, it just makes it much more feasible to have a social life. All the people that I have met out here, they get visitors all the time because people want to come out here to, enjoy the peace of it all. Speaking of which, I don't know why I've been facing the shed this whole time when I could have been sharing the glorious view with you if I switch the table around. This is my beautiful picnic table, by the way. I got this picnic table after my family tried to come out and visit one time, and it was so awkward. I realized like there needs to be a place to hang out here. So I got that, and it's helped a lot. No one's come out since I got this, but oh, that's much better, right? Not just staring at the side of a wall. You can't really get the proper view unless I step aside for it. There you go. But I will insert my stupid face instead. Yeah, the whole wooden houses versus concrete thing, it's more complicated than you think. I've heard this discourse quite a lot, and I've looked into it, and it's there are reasons for it. It's not just American stupidity entirely. There's some of that to it. Concrete, it really is, it depends on your climate a lot. Like I won't get into the environmental nuances of building materials, but other than just like Europeans go crazy that they see people make wooden houses here, And like, why not simply build out of local stone quarried from your nearby forest or something? It's like, there's, they don't understand that there's wood everywhere here, and stone is, you know, not done. Wood is just, you know, plentiful and cheap. And also, I guess probably just the fact that like people don't build for the future here. So maybe the reasons aren't that solid, but it has to do with the availability of materials. Something to do with, like, I think lumber is really expensive in most of Europe. I don't, I'm free associating here from something I saw on a comment section, but anyway, I won't get into that topic thread here. Yeah, Jen, I would love to walk you through my writing process when I start doing the writing process again. My creative life for the last several months has really been messy and scattered. I had all these, you know, side gigs that I've been working on, and I haven't really been doing like my dedicated, you know, sit down and create, you know, my great work. That's where I use my writing process, is when I'm doing like a major work. And I haven't really been doing major works lately. I've been doing a lot of gigs, which don't really have a process. So when I get back to my real work, which is actually, I think this week is I'm going to be starting it. It's not, you know, I'm going to be getting back to work on that screenplay, which is not, you know, my true calling. It's not the same process as I have for writing fiction, prose, but it still has a process of its own. So maybe it's worth mentioning in some format. But as far as my schedule, I mean, it is generally just like morning. I get up in the morning and as close to waking up as possible, I dive into it and just sort of go as long as I can. And there's complexities to that you may find interesting, but I'll save that for another time. Yeah, punching a hole in the wall is an American tradition. We build our houses flimsy on purpose so that we have a way to express our manly American rage. But yeah, Danny is chiming in with some of the reasons. There's a lot of complicated reasons to it. SCTB wants me to do a grounds tour. That I could do. I have to stay reasonably close to my Wi-Fi, because if I go off Wi-Fi, I'll lose the stream. Don't have great cell signal out here. I'll take you on a little walk. I wish I could activate the wide angle lens while streaming, but I don't think that's possible. So I'll take you back for a bird's eye view here. There's my driveway. My property goes up to kind of over to the top of that ridge. Hard to point out exactly where. On this side, it goes to, you know, roughly halfway between where I'm standing and his house. And then on this side, it goes to that little tree to the left of the tall tree right there. That is, no, wait, is it that tree? No, I think it's the middle one. I'll get this to focus. It's the little tree in between these two trees. That's my other property line. So it's kind of a long rectangle, and then it goes down over the cliff into oblivion where it doesn't really matter anymore. And so there's my outhouse, which says welcome. There's my cat, who's covered in dirt because he's a little filthy ground roller. And yeah, this is my pride and joy, my first major construction effort that turned out like way better than it really needed to. For those of you who haven't watched my whole entire video dedicated to my creation of this, it's not pretty at the moment, because I've been having some issues trying to figure out how to keep the pit free of flies. But you know, it's pretty, right? I've got my graffiti door here. This is my guest book. Everybody who visits the outpost has to sign the door. Bob always loves to get his chance to come explore in here. particularly proud of this this sink that I made, which I think, yeah, still running. Got a little foot pump here and a tank outside. Honestly, I don't use this very often, the sink, because my house is right there. I just wash my hands in there. But in my hypothetical future scenario, see, even has a drain. That will be what guests use, you know, if they're camping out here or, you know, staying in some other dwelling nearby. This will be kind of the communal shitter. And down there, yeah, like I said, that's the building site. Nothing really much to see down there at the moment. This trailer was left there by the previous owners, and it's kind of uninhabitable. It's really old and nasty inside, like full of spiders and wasp nests and mold, and the material's all flaking off, and it's like, it is surprisingly watertight. So like, it actually, I've thought about trying to salvage it, but it would be like a major project to make it livable again. And I don't have that in me at the moment. So yeah, without being able to leave my Wi-Fi circle, you know, I like to go on walks over there, like to tromp around in the brush in my snake-proof boots sometimes, but that's kind of the size of it. Over here is my well. I've showed you this before, but that pipe sticking out of the ground is the well shaft. In there is, you know, like my tool shed, keep all my junk, my tools, my storage. Also my real fridge. There's my margaritas. And there's my precious Starlink dish, which is my only link to humanity right now. Sitting right next to my shit bucket, my retired old shit bucket that actually still has shit in it from like almost 2 years ago. I'm just like waiting for it to compost beyond recognition before I open the lid. But yeah, this little dish, remarkable piece of tech. And there's the beautiful sky. Amilar asked about trips to the UK. Yeah, so essentially that gig did fizzle. I'm about to post a Patreon post about explaining that whole situation, and I don't really want to go into it publicly. I did already kind of out that fact in my last, well, 2 videos ago. I had a little caption that mentioned that the game is not happening right now, but I'll explain that in another time. But yeah, I am America landlocked for the time being. Not that I can't still travel, but hard for me to really picture going back to the UK just for fun anytime soon, since I've been there twice in the last, you know, 8 months. Hey, Bobo. I just love the shoulder rubs. Well, Patrick McKernan wants a what? So there you go. You got one. Yes, Future Warm Bodies was on Jeopardy several times, in fact. I think 3 times. 2 of them just referenced the movie, but one of them actually said my name. I got to hear Alex Trebek say my name as part of a question, which was pretty exciting. That clip is in one of my videos, actually. I think it's the one, I think it's the winter, wait, which one was that? Day in the life of the winter thing, I think that was the one. Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm way behind in this chat. I've just hit the part where we're talking about Jesus. That was like an hour ago. Sorry, I'm just gonna have to skim more here, because I want to see what you're all saying about, you know, actually talking to me. It's starting to become not really live anymore because I'm so far behind. Wait, so what is top chat? Is that Does this not show me chat in chronological order? I'm gonna have to go inside and plug in my phone because I'm about to die. Also, I think I need a refresh here. I drink very slowly when I chat with you guys because I'm just too busy yapping. I don't have time to drink. By the way, this is a little art piece of mine. The legendary violin gun combines violence with music in the most elegant way. That's actually like that just because that was the most convenient place to store my violin bow. I do not play violin, but I use a violin bow on a guitar to make sounds. All right, I'm gonna plug this in because I'm not really done chatting yet. I haven't even finished my drink. Somebody just wanted to double check, wanted to ask again about the book that I was talking about, the tattoo book. Oh shit, you know what? I can't charge this. I'm gonna have to pop this microphone out in order to charge. Okay. I have the microphone plugged into the phone right now. So let's see what happens. I hope this works. Can you still hear me? I don't know if we can switch mic sources in the middle of a stream. I hope so. I'm gonna have to skip to the bottom to find out if you can still hear me. Okay, cool. So how's the sound difference that we're going back? We're going from it's better now? Okay, great. All this expensive gear and it's better without it. The idea of the lav mic is that it stays consistent regardless of, where I'm looking or if I switch to the front facing camera. But hearing that, like, fuck this, man. Tired of this shit. It's really discouraging to find out how often the like professional gear doesn't work as well as just like the basic crap that's built into iPhone. The wind is an issue. That's one benefit about a separate mic is that you can put a windscreen on it where you really can't with just the phone. That's hilarious. At least it's good that it's now that I know. So I won't bother with that mess next time, unless it's really windy. Oh, okay. Well, I'm getting some conflicting opinions now. Quality is better, but louder. Yeah, so that might be kind of what it comes down to. Like the pro mics give a more dynamic sound. They get more complexity, more richness, probably less background noise. Yeah, but the iPhone mic is just optimized for like maximum audibility, so it probably EQs it to be super harsh in the mid range. Um, I don't know. So something to experiment with, I guess. I skimmed past a bunch of stuff to get to these comments, so I'm gonna go back to see what everything. Oh my God, there's so much. You guys are chatty this time. I appreciate it. I feel like the last couple times it was kind of hard to get you talking, and it was the same amount of people in here too, so people are just chattier tonight. Someone asked if this is Isaac Marion. Yes, it is. Hence the name of the channel. I guess actually I don't know if it shows the whole name in the channel. It probably cuts half of it off. I put my name in parentheses on the name of the channel just because I wasn't sure. I guess I hadn't really committed to like, is this going to be, purely a themed channel, Outer Edge Outpost, or is it just like a personal channel? And not sure if my name like matters, if it's going to attract any viewers or anything. But I just figured like, well, it couldn't hurt, so I stuck it on the end. You're close, MLR. Codex, I'll just spell it for you. So it's Seraphinianus. I thought maybe I actually had the book out here, but no, it's in my storage. I mean, I'm pretty sure if you type Codex and then SERA, it'll pop up. It's like SERAPHINEANAS, I believe. Yeah, incredible book. Oh, wow. Patrick McKernan has direct proximity to the Voynich manuscript. Yeah, I actually own a reproduction of it, a print, a reprint. And it's weird stuff, man. It's so bizarre that no one has any idea what it is. Like, code breakers have been trying to decode its text for 500 years. Nobody can figure it out. And yet they know that it's not just gibberish because it has the syntactical signatures of like a real language, which is just super weird. I kind of hope no one ever does figure it out, but I'm also so curious. Bob is very happy, Andre. Bob is, I mean, he has the ideal cat life out here. He has just perfect life. Everything he could want. All his needs are fulfilled. All his wants are fulfilled. Most cats get their needs fulfilled, but most cats do not have access to the kind of just like joyful expression that he gets out here. To see him just, go sprinting across the property and run up a tree for no reason and then just like jump down and like roll on the ground. It's just like pure ecstasy. And he can do this whenever he wants. And it just like seeing him just lounge out in the shade, rolling around in the dirt. It just feels so pure and right. Makes me really happy. A roving bull is less scary than a bear, yes, substantially. I was still a little bit scared, honestly. And I got video of this, by the way. I wish there was a way I could like superimpose a video on here. Just checking. I'm pretty sure there's not. Wait, is there? No. Okay. I'm gonna make a video about this experience eventually. I actually started writing this already because I know there's a lot of gamers that follow me around, and nerds in general. Kind of there's a nerd affinity in my all of my platforms because I am one, and so there's people understand like game logic and game knowledge, game kind of mechanics, and it struck me many times while living out here how much this life is similar to like a open world RPG with the random encounters. I've had so many random encounters that reminded me so much of a video game where just like I'm off walking in an open field and all of a sudden like up ahead there's a guy, standing in the field all by himself like chasing snakes around and grabbing them out of the grass. And I'm like, "What are you doing?" And he turns around and it's like, "Oh, hello, didn't see you there. I'm just collecting bull snakes to bring to my property to scare off the rattlesnakes. I could help you get with your snake problem if you want." And I'm like, "Is this real? Am I in a video game right now? Like, what quest did I just activate?" Stuff like that happens all the time. And this bull situation really felt like that too. Because I'm just like, out of nowhere, this, large cattle is just walking through my yard and it like is staring at me like I'm supposed to do something. And whatever was supposed to happen in that quest, I definitely failed that quest because I did not, get the bull as a companion or anything. It ran off. So sometimes you never know what the correct move for the random encounter was, but yeah. Wow, House of Leaves commentary. That's out of nowhere from Patrick McKernan. It's hard for me to comment on that. I used to really love that book. I read it so long ago. I think I read it when I was like 18. And I remember being pretty enthralled with it. I think my opinion at the time was that I really could have done without all of the narrator stuff. The like, what was the name? Johnny Truant, I think, was the like the framing device of the tattoo artist or whatever who was reading the manuscript. I just like every time it switched back to that guy, I'm like, I don't care. Go back to the actual, the Navidson record and the house itself, which I found really intriguing. I wouldn't say scary, um, but definitely not boring. Like I wanted to know more and more about that phenomenon, and the way that it explored that I found really intriguing. That's all I remember. I mean, like all the experimental text stuff, could have done without it. Like it's flashy, but I don't really care. For me, the intrigue of that book was all just about like the idea of these people exploring, this infinite house was very intriguing to me. So that's my review of that very old book, since you asked. I do have a bear spray, Danush. I keep it right next to the door. So I actually was grabbing that as I went to confront that bull. Childless cat man. Absolutely. You can call me that. Um, yeah. Yeah, why is it always cat ladies? I feel like there's a reckoning, there's a gender equity happening with cat person uh right now, because I feel like there's a lot more like cat men appearing in media. I've been seeing a lot of like books written by, some 30-year-old guy about how some cat saved his life or something, and like their journeys, their backpacking trips with cats. And it's kind of like possibly the genre that I'm in on this channel at this point. I don't know. I don't want to be, I don't want to join that bandwagon, but I sort of have stumbled into it by accident. So, oh well. But yeah, crazy cat men, crazy cat ladies unite. I tried to feed the bull tiny house off grid lifestyle and adorable pets. I'm going to call you that every single time I reference you. I offered him an apple, and yes, I know it was a him because it's very evident when a cattle is male. um, and yeah, he wasn't interested in the apples. He thought I was threatening him with when I threw it at him, and he took off. So I don't know. I don't know how to lure them in. You're 3 drinks in. See, the problem is like when I take a drink, the whole stream comes to a halt. Like blah 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 blah. Dead air. It's just dead air. So like the broadcaster in me is reluctant to, subconsciously resists, cutting off the show in order to take a drink. But I realize that's backwards because, well, it says in the title, the show is about the drink. Speaking of which, um, who else is drinking right now? I feel like every time I do this, these are not like I don't get wasted on these streams. I usually only have one. The last 3 times that I did it, I had, one canned margarita. By the way, they also they get my sinuses inflamed, as you can hear. I'm all stuffed up now. I don't know why alcohol does that to me. But yeah, every time I've been doing this, I feel like I'm the only one drinking. It's just like a bunch of people in the chat were like, "Well, I don't drink alcohol, but I'll stare in judgment at you as you do it," which also makes me reluctant to chug while I'm streaming. Surely there's a few people in here who are participating. Justin, I don't think there's any predators for cattle in this country. There's not really wolves. Wolves probably could take them down, but that would be high investment. I don't think they would attack a cow unless they were really desperate. Cows are not as easy prey as you would think. They're very leathery, very high armor class, and they can do some damage. Especially if it's a bull. If they actually have horns, they could kill wolves pretty easily. I don't know about that for sure. I'm talking out of my ass about that, but yeah, I don't think predation is a big issue for cattle out here because they've free range across all of these hills. Um, there's like barbed wire fences kind of in certain areas, but they mostly they range. You know, that's how they feed them for the most part. They just cut them loose on the hills and they go out and graze. It's pretty amazing. Vishal Patel, I'm glad to hear that. The videos about Watson have helped you process your loss. Um, I never really thought about it that way when I made that video. It was just kind of like, here's something that happened, and I thought it was something I had to share. But yeah, it's been pretty amazing to see how many people have responded to that video with like empathy and real and commiserating, I guess, how it's helped people to kind of see their own grief in a different way. So I'm glad that I could be part of that. My laundry machine would work without powdered detergent. What do you mean? Like I still need detergent. I don't think just water in a bucket is enough to clean my clothes, right? I guess I'll find out, you know. So my goal, like the reason that I did the laundromat this last time was because I had a ton of, you know, whole full bin of laundry. There's no way I was going to wash it all by hand. It would take forever. But the thought was like if I do it more regularly, like if it's convenient, if it's just right outside the door, I can wash it, you know, frequently. So it'll just be, you know, a few shirts, a few socks, whatever. And then it'd be a pretty easy task. I'll just, you know, stuff that stuff in the bucket and smash it with the plunger. The tricky part that I haven't quite figured out is like, okay, so I put the clothes in the bucket, I put the detergent in the water, agitate, and then now it's like filthy water. So I guess I dump out the water, put in more water, agitate again. Probably, I feel like it would take 2 or 3 full cycles of water in the bucket in order to actually get all the dirty water out. And then, I guess there's no spin cycle in this situation. I guess maybe I wring it out, but that might damage the clothes even more. I don't know. Me too, Essie. Can't wait for my house is done. That's going to be, oh man. You know, partially, I kind of feel like this whole era has been like a prologue to the real life that I'm trying to do out here. When I actually get comfortable, when I actually get set up and I'm able to like invite people out here, I don't know what kind of mischief I might get up to. I mean, I've been talking with the Patreon for quite a while now about having like a camp out here, about inviting all the patrons to come out and have like a big meetup. I would love to have, you know, like a little micro festival, have people come out and bring their tents and just like camp out here. That's kind of why one of the reasons I wanted that nice outhouse is I'm like, well, I want to do stuff like that eventually. And I need sanitation. So it is time for round 2. This is what I'm drinking, by the way, for those of you who didn't show up at the beginning. I'm a tequila promoter. That's like the thing that everybody promotes on Instagram, right? For some reason, it's like always tequila. And you know what? Maybe I'll just drink this one straight. It's been a while since I've been able to savor this stuff. My phone is a little bit charged now, so I'm going to go back outside because it's hot as hell in here, as you might notice from my glistening face. Buy a ghost town. Jane, I like where your head is at. That is actually a fascinating idea. It makes me wonder, like, are those for sale? Can you, like, why have those not been bought? Seems like the perfect place for a cult. I'm just gonna come out and hang out with the cool kids. No, don't get up. Don't get up. We're good. Get comfy, bud. There it is. He's barely shown his face on this stream. He's always on the move. But yeah, I seriously would love to own a ghost town. Hold on, I'm gonna switch over to let you witness the life roll. This is like, you know how crocodiles have the death roll? I feel like this is the opposite of that when Bob does this roll in the dirt. It's like it's a life-affirming roll. Do it, Bob. Do the roll. Yeah! Look at this guy. Look how chill he is. Just splooted out in the gravel. Oh, wow. Thanks, Essie. Essie's already a patron and just gave me an extra donation saying that I'm never catching up with the chat tonight. God damn, you're right. There's just you guys are you're just like full of great content tonight. How am I supposed to keep track of this? There's so much interesting stuff in here. Oh, present future is back. I love that we have future tense and present future back to back here. So do I have to make someone a moderator? Because I thought you already figured out how to ban people. You banned somebody last time, I thought. Yes, Natasha, screened in porch. Absolutely. That is what I need to survive the summers out here because the wasps just ruin life. I actually got, somebody mentioned in my last stream, I wish I could remember who so I could credit them, but they saw my, my umbrella setup and suggested that I get an umbrella a screen for my umbrella, which I did not know was a thing. And I found out it was, and now I've ordered one. So there's like a bug screen that you can hang off the umbrella and create a little shelter. Speaking of RVs, tiny house, off-grid life, starring adorable pets. Mentioned if people bring in an RV. I actually had a visitor here when I was still out here camping in a tent when I first started living out here, and a couple, they weren't not patrons, but they were followers on somewhere, Instagram or something. And they came out. They were on a road trip. This woman and her husband came out and just like saw where I was and said they were from some other state, and they rolled out here in their RV and just kind of pulled up and sat and chatted for a couple hours and went on their way. And it was like that was my first hint that of what this could be if I play my cards right, like what I could build it into. Just that how I don't need to try to go grovel at the local bar to try to make friends. I can just create something out here, make a broadcast for it, and basically like the outhouse says, just welcome, and interesting things will happen on their own. I believe this. By the way, check out the sky right now. There's this wildfire that is still burning over in Lake Chelan. It's been going for like weeks, almost a month now. Still haven't put it out. It is sad but beautiful. I mean, look at that sun. Love the evenings out here. Okay, you know what? I'm so far behind in the chat. I'm skimming past some really nice compliments here. I'm assuming these are happening because I mentioned that we menfolk don't get compliments, because it's been a long time since anybody has said anything like that in any of my videos, but thank you. It really is appreciated. It reminds me of, there's a meme I saw where it's a clip from Akira, the anime, of at the end where he's like grasping the little glowing dot that's the last particle of his friend, and the meme is like men treasuring the one compliment they get every 5 years. And yeah, it's true. Not to like fish for compliments by any means. You really don't need to give any more. Already feeling good, but Yeah. I was trying to skim through all these because I'm apparently way far behind. Oh my God, we're still talking about Alex Trebek. You know what? I'm sorry. I think I'm just gonna jump to the present, and I'll pop back here after this is all over and respond to some of these comments offline because I need to get live again. So here we go. Boom, to the present. There, I'm caught up. And I defeated you, Essie. I cheated, but I defeated you. So I have to remember that I'm now drinking just straight tequila. This is no longer a margarita, so I have to keep that in mind as I take my drinks. God, it's good. I don't think I really need the margarita. Honestly, like mixers are just kind of a way to prolong the experience. You know, I almost always prefer straight liquor. This is gonna be great. He's about to jump. I want you to see it. Oh, he was springing. He was tensing. If I could flavor wise, experience wise, I prefer straight liquor. The problem with it though is socially, if you're at a table with somebody and they're drinking a beer and you have a glass of tequila, you know, there's kind of a natural rhythm to a conversation. It's like drinks are kind of punctuation, you know, like you'll say a few things and then there's a brief lull in the conversation. And that's when you both take a sip. It just kind of happens instinctively. And with, you know, beer or wine, it works pretty well. You know, you get your buzz at an appropriate pace according to your conversation. And it's almost like perfectly dialed in because, you know, if you take a drink at the end of every topic as kind of a topic transition, then you're probably, you know, pretty deep into your conversation before you actually start getting drunk. So it's self-regulating. But if you're drinking straight liquor, you take that same sip at the same intervals in the conversation, you're fucked up by the time they've even got halfway through their beer. Okay, it's happening. Oh, never mind. False alarm. The wasp was circling my glass, but he left. I guess no battle today. So it's definitely not Marianathon. No, it would not be a festival about me at all. I have not come up with the branding for it yet, but it would be something completely unrelated to me. Well, it'd be related, but superficially. I would be the organizer, but it wouldn't be about celebrating me. I would just be the host. There'd be some other theme to it. I have to figure that out still. Yes, the ramble is how I get behind in the chat. I mean, it's like it's too fast. Even with, there's only 36 people in here, and there's still just so much interesting stuff to talk about. I don't know how like actual YouTubers do this when they have thousands of people in the chat. I mean, they must just kind of decide to ignore most of them. I actually make an effort to keep up as much as possible with everything that everyone's saying, and it is pretty doable right now. But you know, it does move quickly, even with this small numbers. And I do talk a lot, so maybe I should drink more. I also don't normally drink straight liquor out of a giant glass like this, so I'm trying to be kind of conscious of the physical dynamics. You know, it's different when you tilt back a big glass of water. You're kind of accustomed to taking a big old gulp, as opposed to, you know, a little tumbler or a shot glass or something. And if I drink this like I normally would drink out of this cup, it's gonna be bad news. I really probably should add the mixer. I wanted to taste the tequila by itself, but yeah, I mean, it's tricky with the chat being small. Like, obviously I want the channel to grow for lots of reasons. I don't want to lose the humanity of it. I don't want to have it become some sort of like big machine where nobody ever can have a meaningful engagement. I think, you know, if you look at my comment responses, I'm pretty dedicated to it. Like, I think I could add another 10,000 followers and still reply to all your comments, no problem. Like, I check it multiple times a day. It's kind of like an extension of my chat room, really. I love responding to comments. I love the conversations that unfold in the interactions here. And I think it could grow quite a lot before I would lose any of that. If it ever became like really big, I think I would find a way. I'm not sure exactly how it would pan out. But it's like, to my knowledge, I'm not like really well versed in streamer culture. Actually, not well versed at all. But I feel like from the parodies that I see anyway, I feel like a lot of streamer guys are not really like, they don't give a shit about people. They just like really callous. And I've made it very clear that, you know, most of the reason that I'm doing this whole channel is I'm just like, I just want to hang out, you know. I want to talk to people. I want to, you know, share my life with people, not just in the sense of me sending my life to you and broadcasting it, but like inviting you into it and sharing it with me in kind of a mutual space. And obviously it's limited by the format because, you know, here I am blathering away with my face and voice, and you're stuck in the little box there. But at least until the festival, then we can truly get on equal footing. So we need a cat theme song. Shit, do I need to make a theme for Bob? I did kind of informally create a theme for him a couple videos ago. I had a recurring motif in my music where I played this like really kind of childish sounding synth tone. And I had that pop up for Bob's segments multiple times. It wasn't a particular melody, but I don't know, maybe the melody that I played on that time is Bob's theme, and I need to formalize it. He definitely deserves a theme. I think it was trying to remember which video this was, if you want to check. I can hear the melody in my head, but I can't remember which video it was. I've done so much footage of Bob. Maybe it was the springtime one. I'll have to find it and comment on it later. But it was a strong melody that could easily be his theme. I just have to repeat it a few times. Oh, we're talking about toxicness. Let's see. Have we got into controversial territory? Jane despises social media. This is the only time I ever interact because you guys are so awesome. Oh, good. Well, I'm glad to be the only one that you don't despise, the only platform, the only community you don't despise. I feel you. I mean, I am basically only on YouTube and Instagram, and I would love to leave Instagram if I could. I feel like I have to stay for a couple of reasons. One, it's the only social media platform that you can really share like promotional stuff. So if I have new work to promote, it's the only place that's easy to come the wasps. Here we go. It's on. Oh, he's getting my drink and I'm gonna knock the drink over. Oh, that was easy. I didn't hit it once again. The wasps they're fucking with me because they come right up on the drink and I can't swing my hat without knocking my drink over. So it's a bit of a conundrum. But yeah, Instagram is it's the only way for me to promote stuff. Like, you can't really be an author and not be on Instagram. Is what it comes down to. Like, it's essential. I did try TikTok for a while, um, and kind of like established a presence there pretty quickly, but I really didn't like it. I don't like TikTok culture. Sorry if there's any youths in the chat tonight who are big TikTokers, but the thing that bothered me about it is it's weirdly antisocial. Like, I popped on TikTok, I got a shitload of followers really quickly, did a couple posts, and it was like almost immediately caught up to my Instagram account. But it's like dead. Like, I almost wonder if they're all mostly bots or something, because every time I post there, when I post on Instagram, usually it's a social experience. Like, people pile on in the comments, we have conversations, they send DMs when I post stories. It's very interactive, and every time I post there, I feel like it's kind of an invitation to chat with people. TikTok is like, it just doesn't, it never happens. I post stuff on TikTok and it's just silence. I'll get, likes and reposts or shares or whatever, but nobody talks, nobody leaves comments, I'll never get DMs in TikTok. It's like I've had 3 or 4 the entire time I've done it. And it's, like 11 something thousand followers. And just nobody messages you. It's like they're not really there. So after enough time of that, I'm just like, what even is this app? I don't get it. It's like, are these people even here? Is it all bots? Like, what? There's no sense of place. There's no sense of community here. Instagram, for all the bad things you can say about it, it does seem to encourage conversations and like interactions in the comments. A lot of that stuff happens. So I've stuck with it for that reason. It's kind of almost like more so than texting. It's like how my friends communicate with me. Like, people just talk to me on Instagram. Every time I post a story, it's kind of like putting out an invitation to chat with me. And that's like half the plans that I've made lately have started on Instagram. Like, I'll post some bullshit about my life out here, post a picture of Bob or something, and then some friend will be like, "Hey, I haven't talked to you in a while. Like, what are you up to?" And then, weeks later, it's like, "Oh, well, let's make a plan or something." Or it's like a kind of putting up a signal. So that's the other reason I keep with it, even though as toxic as I know it is, it kind of it drains my soul sometimes, but it also feeds it. So it's a paradox. Yeah, I mean, the Discord is the best of that scenario. Like, it doesn't get any better than that. The Patreon Discord chat is like a real hangout with like a dedicated group of people. I was skeptical about that when they first introduced that feature. I was like, what is this, like gaming chat? No one's going to want to do this. And I do still hear from people a lot who are like, well, I don't play games, but it's not, Discord is just a chat service. It doesn't really have anything to do with games. But there's a really cool group there that, it's from my Patreon because it's a private server. But I guess that keeps it small enough to continue to be social. I don't know what it would be like if there were hundreds and hundreds of people in there. Probably wouldn't be that sociable. Not that I don't still want it to grow, because I would love, if my Patreon ever really took off, it would be amazing to not have to do all these freelance gigs in order to survive. I would love nothing more than to scrap all of my bullshit, to stop writing for video games, to stop, just all these random gigs that I'm getting, and just write. I've actually been craving that lately, just like how much I miss just writing books. It's been so long since I've had that purity. Wasps are back. They're after my feet now. What do you want with my feet? I'm actually surprised that they've left me alone for the most part. I think this margarita is not very sweet. It's just agave, not much, no real sugar in it, so it's not drawing them like the cans were. Oh, they're trying to get up in the umbrella though. That's what I was afraid of. You know, those racket zappers don't work on wasps. In my experience, they are not strong enough to kill a wasp. They just temporarily. Oh shit! A bunch of them just are chasing me now. The hell? What the hell? Jesus! Off my face! I pissed somebody off. Is there a hive around here that I missed? Or are they just after the word got out about my drink? Fuck off! Okay. Wow, that got intense for a second. Sorry. I'm sorry, everyone. Sorry for my language, my aggression. There was like 3 of them came at me at the same time. Kind of panicked for a second. Old man yells at wasps. That really does sum up the life out here. Look at this guy. Look at this stoic statue of a man. Hey, Bob. 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 I get 1 tail flick for each yell. There's no nest under the table. Well, okay, let's take a look. Nope. I'm always trying to find these nests because you look on so I happen to be a member of the subreddit called Fuck Wasps, r/Fuck Wasps, and they're always talking about like, well, if you have a wasp problem, simply locate their nest and destroy it. And I'm like, okay, where do yellow jackets live? Where do paper wasps live? Paper wasps are easy, actually. You can find their nests, hypothetically. Oh, Bob is after something. Let's find out. Check this out. He's hunting seriously. What are you after, bud? What is it? Oh, it's probably just a grasshopper. He spooks me sometimes. Gets all hyped up like he's hunting a snake or something, and it's just a grasshopper. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, so they're always like, go find the wasp nest. And then it turns out, yellow jackets, which are the problem wasp, they just live in the ground. Anywhere in any patch of ground could be their nest. They're like, well, just wait till you see, multiple wasps and then follow them to their hole. And I'm like, what do you mean? There's ground all around me. There's miles and miles of ground. There could be hundreds of wasp nests out there. There's no way I'd ever be able to locate them. Do you ever find these weird gaps in reality where you look up information and the things that everyone is saying just make no sense, like the solutions to certain problems? You ask about it, you Google it, and the answers are, it's like a chat GPT response or something. It's like something that just is completely divorced from reality, but everyone is saying it and like repeating the same advice. And you're just like, where are you getting this information? This does not correspond to the world that we live in. Things like that, I don't know. It freaks me out sometimes. I'm just like, what? Is this chat GPT? Like, is any of this real? Are these people real? I guess if they're online, they could just be bots of some kind. Anyway, Essie, I'm not. It's not. I'm not. I can't compete with you. You've you're a pro, and I am filthy casual. And I have enemies out here that I have to deal with. Every time I'm about to like dive into this drink, I get assaulted. Oh, it's so good though. This is a really nice mix, I have to say. Usually margarita mix is just like flavor syrup. This is barely even sweet. It's actually really tart. Heavy on the lime juice. Which is kind of how I would call it a dry margarita. Really enjoying it. Hold on, did I miss some quality puns? Yeah, that was pretty funny, Andre. How Bob just sort of acknowledged me, but did not respond. Just give me the tail whip. Like, yeah, I hear you, but I'm busy. I don't know what he's busy with exactly. He's looking very serious down here. What are you after, bud? Well, now you all know my license plate number. I always hear that I'm not supposed to reveal that, but I don't know why exactly. Like, so you can look up my driving record? I don't really get it. Yeah, the thing with the wasp traps, Gail, talking about wasp traps here. I've done that in the past. Like, I have one actually still up on this tree from last summer. They are very effective, these green traps. They work. I mean, it captured hundreds of wasps. But I'm just not convinced that the concept holds up. Because yes, they kill wasps, but they attract them at the same time. So if you're drawing in more wasps from around the area in order to kill them, are you really improving anything? Like, are you just bringing more wasps to deal with? I mean, like, before they get to the trap, they're going to be floating around bothering me for a long time. So I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about traps. Oh, squid shark octopus, another Twitch classic. It's strange that all of the old Twitch people are showing up in these live streams, and it's the only place that I see you guys. I don't see you on Instagram or anywhere else that I hang out, as far as I can tell. It's just YouTube. I guess I did start my streaming on YouTube. Maybe that's why. I streamed my first like 4 or 5 times on YouTube, and then I decided to switch to Twitch. So that could be, then maybe that's where you all found me originally. That sort of would make sense. On TikTok, no, it's just Isaac Marion on TikTok, Tiny House. I'm very not active there anymore. I do have a lot of posts that are, I guess, unique to there. So if you wanted to browse some of the other stuff, you could see what I left there. But I haven't posted in a long time because I just got bummed out. Wasp time. Here we go. Man, I talked a lot of big game about this hat, but I haven't really been able to use it effectively because of the drink. They keep coming after the drink, and I'm like, I want to swing for them, but I don't want to hit the drink. Yeah, I think you pretty much got it, future tense. That was pretty much the old gang. All of them are in here tonight, or have been at least. I don't know if they still are. My phone is dying again, so I'm going back inside. I mean, I don't know what the correct length for a stream is. I don't know what there's a point where you're supposed to wrap it up, but I don't see any reason to. I mean, I've still got a drink. There's still people in here. I'm still having fun. And I still have a phone charger. So what the hell? Actually, yeah. Danush, I've been wondering about Instagram Live. I've been wanting to do some streams there as well. I haven't really figured out like a good uh, a principle for that. Like when, because it's kind of the same thing that I'm doing here. So I can't like do this back to back. I mean, I guess I don't really know what to do with Instagram. I do, and I would love to stream there once in a while, especially because it's a lot of my real life friends are there. It'd be kind of fun to see everybody chat for a minute. I can't really see myself, live streaming more than once a week. Seems excessive, but I don't know. Maybe it's not. What's you guys' experience with live streaming? Like, do a lot of the people you follow do this regularly? Um, is it common to like? Do some people do it every day? Like, what's normal for YouTube? Let's say, like, how often do people typically stream? Because I don't follow anybody who live streams, and I don't really watch them myself. It's just kind of doesn't really fit into my lifestyle usually. But obviously, I like the concept, but I just I haven't really experienced it myself. Be curious what if for those of you who do follow other people who stream, like how it compares. Like, how, is it the same kind of stuff that I'm doing? Is it very different? Um, I've seen your streams, Essie, but those are like gaming streams. I don't know what do you do non-gaming streams too? Because like you don't even show your face, right? Like I don't know how you would stream outside of a game in that case. That makes sense, future tense. That's kind of how I thought about Instagram, dependent on promotion or topic. Hard for me to picture like popping in Instagram for no reason and like starting a stream, just like, hey guys, what's up? If I have something to talk about, something to promote or just like some news, I can see me doing a live stream for that reason. It's especially weird on Instagram because my friends are there, like my real life friends. Uh, that it'd just be like, "What's up, man? Like, is something happening?" Nope, just chilling. Just felt like talking into the void. Feels like it'd be weird there. Whereas on YouTube, it feels more natural somehow. Yeah, squid shark. That's kind of how the Twitch stuff was for me too. Because I was playing the games anyway, and I just thought like, well, I'm already having this dialogue inside my head as I play. Like, why not open it up and share it with other people, and you know, have it be a little bit more like a hangout. And I want to do it again. I mean, I would love to. The only reason I'm not doing it currently is technical reasons. I just like haven't. I don't know if it's possible to stream on Starlink. For some reason, this stream seems to work great. I haven't had any complaints about lag or quality drops. And this is all Starlink, but for some reason when I tried to do it on Twitch, it just was terrible. So I've got a few tricks up my sleeve to try to fix that. And if I do fix it, I'd like to get back into it, but not quite yet. You see live streams for air guns? Like just people live streaming them shooting each other with air guns? That's interesting. Oh man, Sunshine, that sounds like a rough channel. That I don't know if I could follow that. I guess maybe it's a little too close to home for me, but just watching someone lose their wife and grieve, that's a rough time. God, it's so hot in here. But if I turn the AC on, you won't be able to hear me. And if I leave, my phone will die. I'm trapped in the hot box. Yeah, Jane, I'm with you honestly. Like there's a lot of things about a lot of the things that I do, I don't actually enjoy consuming them from the other side. Like Twitch streaming, I have really unless it was like someone I already am friends with, I can't really find the appeal of watching like just joining a chat and where someone else is playing a game. Unless it's a game that I guess if I really love the game already and I just like want to watch their reaction to it, that's probably the one situation. I've watched some clips like that on YouTube of like people playing games that I really love for the first time and just to see how they respond to different situations can be fun. But a lot of these things I find that they're just not really for me. They're not really my vibe, but I enjoy doing them, but I don't really enjoy consuming them. So it's like it leaves me in kind of a weird situation where I don't quite know what the appeal is of the thing that I'm doing. And like I don't really follow any YouTube channels that are similar to what I'm doing either. I actually kind of tend to avoid things that are very much like me because I don't find it interesting, I guess, because I'm already doing it. So I tend to follow things that are completely different and then, do things that are part of my experience. Everyone always thinks that you want to experience the same things that you're doing. So people keep sending me like off-grid channels, and my sister's telling me, "Oh, you got to watch that show Alone. It's just like your life." And I'm just like, "Yeah, exactly why I don't want to watch it." I mean, I'm already doing this stuff. I don't need to consume other people's versions of it. I want to get as far away from it as I can when I do my escapism. Nels Bikes wants me to get outside and do work. It's Saturday night, man. Work's over. This is the work for tonight. But I actually did do work today. I got started on my outdoor shower project and spent most of the day on that. So, cut me some slack. Hold up, somebody's birthday. Got to see what's going on here. I would love to open my windows, Natasha, but this is my window now. Can't open it. I have two windows in this house. One of them is open already, and one of them is sealed like a tomb. Yeah, if I only showered when it rained, this would be a bad scene because it rains. I think it's rained once this entire season. I'm not even exaggerating, like one time since mid-spring. So yeah, you don't want to see that lifestyle. Okay, so I guess it's Sunshine's birthday. So I was trying to track down. I think there was someone else's too, right? Melanie, is it your birthday too? How many birthdays are in here tonight? Anyway, to anyone whose birthday it is, happy birthday. Oh, there it is. I see it now. Oh, that's cute. How's your birthday going, Melanie? Are you did you already have your party? Are you having it later? Or are you not having one? Is this your party? See, Neil is in Australia, so that's like the next level beyond the off-grid situation that I'm doing. Like, in fact, the shower that I have, the brand is from Australia, Julka. Every time I contact their customer service because these things have problems, they're strongly Australian in their emails, which is cute. But yeah, that sounds like a good setup, man. I two by four 2 gallon 44 gallon drums. One is a water tank, and below one with a fire under it. Okay, so that's like really rustic shower. That's I guess, I have more luxurious environments than I could, as rustic as it feels sometimes, because I actually have a water heater. Um, so all I have to do for my outdoor shower is tap the shower through the wall and connect it to the water heater. So count my blessings. I am a softie. I'm a poser. Not that, plenty of tiny house wilderness people have electricity. It's not that luxurious, but your setup sounds pretty badass. Still waiting to hear about Melanie's birthday plans. That little doe-eyed emoji that they sent made me think that maybe they need some extra wishes. So I'm waiting to hear the result of that. Man, that's a lot of Jerry's in your plan there, Neil. I'm just scanning this comment. 20-liter Jerry can, shower hose on it, then put the Jerry on a shelf, and boom. Is that bomb making instructions or shower? No, I mean, if I didn't have, if I was really remote, like if I didn't have access to propane, let alone electricity, I would definitely rig something like that. I'm curious, what is your setup? I mean, do you not have electricity? Why do you have to resort to building a fire for a shower? You don't have. Okay, so you're like really off grid. You don't have electricity at all. Oh wow, okay, that's hardcore. I have big respect for that. In some ways, I almost wish for that because it would just like simplify the quest in some ways. Having I'm kind of in this awkward middle ground between like really rustic and normal, and I've thought about like how much cleaner the process would be if I was just like I don't have any utilities, make it work, which is what you're doing, and that's awesome. It's like I'm kind of in this weird space where I have the possibility of comfort, and I also have the possibility of making it comfortable for other people, like to have guests out here. So I think about what I'm kind of like stuck on the fringe of civilization. If I were when I first came out here, I had nothing. Then it was just like, hey, whatever works, make it. Because I didn't have power for a while, I had nothing. I did have propane, and I cooked with propane, and um, I was mostly in the summer, so I didn't need to heat. But I had like a generator to run my laptop. I finished my novel out here before I had any utilities at all. Um, just using a little generator to keep my laptop powered up and charge my phone and all that. And then little by little, I got more stuff, got power, got water. Now I'm kind of at the threshold of like I'm almost about to have like a normal life out here. Like if I get a house built, it'll be pretty damn comfortable. So off grid is kind of like I mean, I'm technically not off grid, as I've said before. Like, I have grid power. I have for a long time. Off grid means different things to different people. It to most commonly, I find that people think of it as meaning just sort of like you live away from civilization. You live kind of cut off from like all the modern conveniences. So in my case, I have the grid power, but all my other utilities are disconnected from civilization. And loading up again. And I'm just really remote. So I think like for a lot of the people that I talk to, it's more about kind of like how disconnected you are, how remote you are, that people think of as this lifestyle. Because urban or suburban, even relatively rural, most people are like surrounded by people, or they have easy access to them if they want. And so, like, as far as modern comforts, I actually have most of them. I mean, I do, shit in a hole in the ground. Be nice to have a flushing toilet someday. But yeah, I don't claim to be suffering really. Like, this is not a bad life. I would like it to be better. Who wouldn't? But yeah, yeah. Where do you get your power or your internet? I mean, someone was asking. Without power, like, do you just have battery banks, or I don't get it. We've got someone popped into the chat who can teach us all some lessons here. Some lessons in true hardship. Take care, Jane. Bye. And Danush. Everyone's hopping off. I'm going to keep this going until it becomes really obvious that people are done and it starts to get depressing. Then I'll quit. And Holly's gone. Okay, everyone's dropping off. It's 7:30. It was pretty late in most of the world. I'm in one of the earliest time zones. What's up, buddy? You want my drink? 10. Oh, okay. So you're just fresh in the morning. Indonesia. Whoa, there's something out there. I just heard a loud scurrying. What was that, Bob? What was it? Must have been a bird. Sunday afternoon. I keep forgetting it's actually the weekend. Honestly, guys, like these chats are this is my weekend. Like, this is how my weekends are now. I've actually started to really look forward to Saturdays now for this purpose. In fact, funny story, I was supposed to have company right now. I had a friend of mine was going to come out and visit from the coast. I was supposed to come out Friday and stay through Sunday morning, and that didn't work out. But I was planning to not do a live stream today because I thought I was going to be with people, and when she bailed on the plans, I was kind of like, oh, now I can do my live stream. Now I have an excuse to drink and talk to the internet, which is weirdly charming. I actually really enjoy this. What is... Oh, it's birds in the sky. Big flock of birds just flew right overhead. I thought it was something scurrying off in the grass, but it was in the air. I think the wasps are done, actually, present, future. I think they've gone to bed. Off in the distance, I can hear the mysterious Mexican polka party that happens every Saturday night down in the valley. I have never located it, but somewhere down there, I hear these, polka music wafting up from these mysterious fields. And I really want to figure out where it's coming from, because maybe I could join it. Though it would be tough because I don't speak Spanish. Sorry, Omer. What the hell is this English or Spanish meme? Someone's got to explain this to me. Yeah, living out here, it's a pretty tightly closed door, culturally speaking. Like, if you're not in the Spanish community, you're pretty much out of luck. There's no nightlife. There's no third places. There's no public sphere. It's just like you're either at somebody's house party or you're not doing anything. If you move, you're gay. What does that mean? Yeah, tiny house. I used to have what was it called? Another satellite internet service, Viasat, when I lived in Orcas Island. My experience with satellite internet is they're all bullshit except Starlink. Viasat was like basically dial up. I mean, I could send emails, but I could not. I mean, you had to watch a YouTube video. You had to open it and like let it buffer for like 20 minutes. It was ridiculous. And that's what I was expecting with satellite internet. Oh, here they come again. Wasp time. Interested in the umbrella. Not me, so far. We may have a truce. This is the problem, is that I've got a drink and a phone. So I have no free hand to smack them with. Here, this is going to happen. I'm going to show you. Oh, maybe not. Come on, come on. Bring it on. Fuckers. They're taunting me. I will strike you down. Man, they're quick. Got him. Hat strike. Well, can't find the body, so I don't know. Might not be real. If you don't see the body, they're not dead. I still hear a buzz. Might have just stunned him. Oh, now they're pissed. Yeah, they're pissed now. Word got out that I'm a bad guy. I'm not taunting them, they're taunting me. Come on. No, I don't bother them if they don't attack me. I try my best to stay calm, but once in a while, yellow jackets, they're not live and let livers. They will attack you for no reaon. They will just like target you and lock on and then trace you. So once that happens, that's when I go into offensive. I see your little burst of hearts. That's very cute. Emlise, another classic. Emlise is a classic from all platforms, really. From the Twitch days, also from Patreon. Used to be a regular in the live streams I used to do for my Patreon. I feel like you aren't there anymore. Are you not on the Patreon? Or I can't. It's hard for me to keep track of the usernames sometimes. I don't know if people have different usernames in different platforms. But I have not seen this, particular combination of letters in a while. And it brings back fond memories. Okay, so you are still there. I haven't seen much. You're one of the strong silent types. You're the quiet supporters, which is most of them, really. The people who are active in the Discord, I think about. I remember easily. But no one really comments on Patreon posts. It's pretty much a like at best. Usually not even that, really. Hey, you're welcome to lurk. Lurking is accepted and encouraged. I used to, when I first started my Patreon, it kind of bummed me out that nobody really interacted, because I thought like this is supposed to be my private social club. But then I realized like, no, it's not really that. Most people use Patreon as kind of a passive, like, just way of supporting creators that they like. And apparently I've heard from other creators too, like nobody interacts on Patreon. It's all, you have to keep making stuff in order to like kind of keep justifying your existence. But the vast majority of Patreon supporters don't care about the bonus content. They just, want to keep you going, keep you alive for the main content, I guess. Which is how I feel about it too. I mean, I don't want to waste my main content hours making bonus content, like at the expense of the main content, because like I'm an author, right? I'm supposed to be writing books. Granted, right now, instead of writing books, I'm live streaming and drinking tequila. But you got to take some rest once in a while, right? It's Saturday night. I haven't even had dinner yet. Speaking of which, I'm actually getting pretty hungry. Yeah, the Discord is the big exception to Patreon socializing. That's the one place where people hang out. And I guess it's kind of the Patreon platform doesn't really lend itself well to hanging out other than Discord. Like even the posts, the comment section on the posts is terrible. Like you can't even see other people's comments without clicking an extra time. So I understand. I make my Patreon posts kind of like just to have a presence there. Hope people pass through and stumble across it and like, okay, he is active. He's not abandoned us. That's my ambition for Patreon. Even if no one actually cares. Ooh, man, that was heavy on the mixer. Oof, sweet and tart. I just got a burst of happy faces. Well, I'm glad someone's enjoying the music. It's weird because like you post stuff on Patreon and it really feels like nobody sees it, which is because it's a paid platform. It doesn't sting as much when you don't get any response to stuff you post on Patreon, because it's like, well, hey, their support is evident in their financial support. They don't need to interact and engage. When it happens on other social media, it's like, wow, nothing is happening. Like, I just posted this video and like nobody cares. That's a bummer. With Patreon, it's a little different because it's like, well, nobody's interacting, but they're still paying, so I must be doing something right. So yeah, it is kind of journaling. That's kind of what it's become. But yeah, the music too, like that. I've pretty much released a whole album there by now. I've actually kind of been thinking about maybe doing it in sections like that, like releasing um, an album, like building up enough tracks on Patreon to constitute an album, and then like releasing that album on a streaming platform, and then starting over with Patreon, like another set of songs, and not release anything until I have 10 or so, and then releasing that on streaming, kind of having like a early access. On the other hand, I don't think most of my YouTube music is really good enough to be in the spotlight because it is made very rapidly for a specific purpose, and it's not really meant to be heard that clearly to begin with. So it might be a little presumptuous to release it on like Spotify or something when it's like barely even on beat. Natasha, I hear you. I do remember you saying something about the beard. Now it's gone. So what now? Now I've just got this kind of like scruffy pseudo mustache. It's a different era. Okay, cool. Glad you still like it. You want to see the sky? There you go. Give you a sky show. It can't even focus on this because it's so... What the hell? The autofocus on YouTube's not very good. Focus. Yeah, sunshine. I'm not doing the pure mustache. I know it's like what's hot right now, but I don't like the look. I don't like being clean shaven on the rest of my face. The beard stash is kind of my ideal hybrid, which I just this is actually barely even a stash at all because I shaved it today and it didn't, the contrast isn't really there, but I like to kind of have a little of both. Well, Bobbert, what's going on, bud? I love the noises he makes. Here, buddy, talk to the people. Well, interesting. The wasp came up to the glass. It swarmed around the edge very curiously, and then it left. It's like it thought it was a real margarita, and it was like, oh, this is one of those healthy margaritas. There's no high fructose corn syrup in this. Never mind, and it left. Health drinks for the win, I guess. Bob Cam. I will do a Bob Cam if I get it financed I'm not going to buy it myself, but if I figure out a way to get a popular support for the Bob Cam, I will make it happen. I don't know. He doesn't have a lot of variety in his daily adventures, I think. Like, there's no other cats out here. I have a suspicion that it might not be super interesting what he does all day, because he mostly just sleeps. He goes out, he'll run up a tree over here. He'll chase grasshoppers around. It'd be pretty funny to watch him hunt grasshoppers. That could be pretty fun. He hasn't been doing a lot of hunting lately. He hasn't brought in a mouse or a bird in a long time. I don't know if that's because it's so hot, or maybe they've kind of gone into hiding because of the season. I don't know what it is. I think he's just gotten lazy, which is great. The less death around here, the better. He can get out, Levi. He once in a while, this tree down here, he gets stuck in this tree sometimes. So I can't really tell for sure if he's stuck or he just doesn't really want to come down yet. It's hard to tell sometimes. But I think he does get a little out of his depth out there. Most of the trees, he's fine. They have branches pretty low to the ground. I know, the sunset, right? This is a stunning wildfire sunset. Look at that sun. End of the world, my friends. Very apocalyptic. Yeah. Everything's okay as far as I know. The fires that are blazing around are all pretty far away from me, so I don't think I'm in any danger. If I am, there's not a whole lot I can do about it. So I just have to keep doing that. I never get tired of hanging out with Bob outside. It's so satisfying when he just likes to relax on the ground, watch the sunset with me. I wonder if you can hear his purring. There, he did a little bit right into the mic. You had to have heard that. Well, folks, I think it is dinner time for me. I think I've drank enough for not having dinner. And it's time for me to return to reality. Even though it's only 7:40, there must be more to my night. So I'm going to go fire up the rice and chicken and sign off here. But this has been really fun. I'm really glad that you guys show up for this stuff. It's like I don't really have much to say. Like I don't have great exciting news to contribute. But just as a simple hangout, I've really been enjoying these little chats. So much gratitude for everyone who shows up for these. And For those of you who are watching, last time a lot of people showed up after the fact and commented on the stream, so I was very surprised that people actually like sit through the whole thing when it's not live. But for those of you watching in the future, hope nothing crazy bad has happened, and I will talk to you in the offline comments. Good night from me and the man. Say good night, Bob. Bye.